by 22, 23, you're making 100 grand. Damn. Oh man, what am I doing with my life? I should have done this 10 years ago. From high school to physician assistant in 4.5 years. So assuming you start college at like 18, some people even at 17, but let's say 18, you are 22 years old when you graduate and become a PA. The hardest thing about PA school is getting in. And if you could bypass all of that, that is an incredibly huge thing for you if you want to be a physician assistant. If you happen to still be in high school and you're certain that you want to be a physician assistant, you know, you're 100% sure you don't want to be a doctor, don't want to be a nurse practitioner, don't want to be a physical therapist, like PA is right for you and you're still in high school and you're certain about that, then honestly what I would do if I were you is find a 3+2 or a 3+4 program. What is that? Basically, it's a guaranteed way to get into PA school. Yeah, you heard me right. Guaranteed way to get into PA school, assuming you get accepted into this program, which is much, much less competitive than an actual PA school. Let me explain. Okay, so for those of you following my channel, those of you who have been trying to apply to PA school, those of you who know anything about applying to PA school, you know that it's incredibly, insanely competitive. There's not a lot of these programs. They have insanely high standards. It's more competitive than medical school. Like, it's really, really difficult. You have to have a super high GPA, you have to have a lot of experience hours, high quality experience, you have to have a lot of other good attributes, you have to write well and have a good essay, you have to interview well and get through the interview process. Like, there's a lot to it. For a lot of schools, you have to have a high GRE score, you know, like there is a lot to it. It's very, very difficult to get in, to the point where, you know, I'm making this entire channel basically about getting in, and it's actually like having a lot of views. I have a side business where I help people get in. You know, I help them write their essays, I help them edit their essays, I help them prepare for interviews. Like, it's an entire industry to get into this stuff. It's very hard to get into PA school, is my point. So with these programs, if you happen to still be in high school, you can actually bypass all of that. The hardest thing about PA school is getting in. And if you could bypass all of that, that is an incredibly huge thing for you if you want to be a physician assistant. So if, for instance, I don't know, I'm not even going to say if I had a kid, I don't. If I was advising a kid, you know, I'm talking to a high school kid, they want to be a PA, I would tell them absolutely 100% look into 3+2 and 3+4 programs. Or sorry, 3+2 and 4+2 programs. Let me explain what that means. So, to become a physician assistant, the basic things that you need are, you need your undergraduate degree, usually 4 years. Some people do it in 3, some people do it in like 7, you know. But you need an undergraduate degree, and you need your patient care experience hours, and, you know, a few other things here and there, but those are the main things. And then, you know, you go through CASPA, you submit your CASPA, you write your essay. If you're lucky enough to get selected for an interview, you go through the whole interview process. And then, you know, out of those people, you have to be selected to finally get a seat in the class. So it's incredibly selective. There's a huge process. What 3+2 and 4+2 programs do is they accept you out of high school into these programs. And then basically all you have to do is complete 3 or 4 years of undergrad and maintain a certain GPA and get possibly either a certain score on the GRE and possibly get a certain number of hours while you're in school. And if you do those minimum things, you are guaranteed a spot in the PA school. And I think I just told you how huge that is. So I'm going to try to share my screen here. I'm filming this on my phone, so I might have to jerry-rig this and just like film my, you know, my laptop screen and put it on the screen. But basically, if you look at this, and I'll put the link in the description of the video if you want to check this out, this is all of the 3+2 and 4+2 programs in the country. There's not that many of them, but there's, you know, a pretty decent amount. And a lot of them, you know, all over the country, wherever you live, you might find one that's kind of close to you. What I'm noticing, and there's quite a few of them actually in New York State and Virginia. So this might be kind of an East Coast phenomenon, but no, there's Quinnipiac, so that's on the West Coast. But either way, so check this out. I'm going to scroll down all the way from the top here. So Albany College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, that's in New York. Arcadia University, not sure where that is. College of St. Mary, not sure where that is. DeUville, Damon, I know that's in New York. DeSalis, Drexel, I know is in Pennsylvania. Duquesne's in Pennsylvania. Franciscan, not sure where that is. Gannon is in Pennsylvania. Hofstra, I think, is in Pennsylvania. Kettering, King's College, Lemoyne College, my alma mater, has a 3+2 program. That's in New York. So it looks like a lot of these are actually in New York and in Pennsylvania, but there's a few other ones throughout the country. What else you will notice is right here, interview required, obviously all of them, just these little categories here. Required GPA to advance. This is the big one. So in college, if you were not going through a 3+2 or a 4+2 program, you need to maintain a very, very high GPA, 3.5, probably at a minimum, 3.6, 3.7 to be, pretty decently competitive. For PA school, you have to maintain that very high GPA and get your hours while you're working as, a scribe, CNA, something like that. This, if you get into one of these programs out of high school, while you're in college, you're doing your 3 or 4 years in college, all you have to do is maintain, for Albany, 3.2, for Arcadia, 3.4, for Deauville, Damon, St. Mary, and DeSalis, it's only a 3.0, for Drexel, 3.5, for Lemoyne College, where I went, 3.4. So basically, you don't have to work as insanely hard in undergrad. You just have to take the classes that you have to take and maintain a decent GPA, 3.0 to like 3.5. Kettering looks like a 3.7. But most of these 3+2 and 4+2 programs, honestly, are requiring pretty low GPAs, 3.2, 3.0, 3.5. 3.5 is decent. But you don't have to work as hard. If you can get into one of these out of high school, you don't actually have to work quite as hard in undergrad as if you were trying to apply to PA school after undergrad. Some of them don't even require the GRE. In fact, most of them don't. Look at this. If you scroll up and down here, you see that most of them actually don't even require a GRE, which is crazy. So that's kind of cool. And then, of course, you see their PANCE first-time pass rates. Those are all important off to the side here. How long the programs are, whether they're a 3+2 or a 4+2, that's what this is. So these that say 6 years, they're obviously 4+2, You get your undergrad in 4 years and then 2 years of PA school. Or like 3.5 years of undergrad and 2.5 years of PA school, so on and so forth. Some of these that are 5 years are 3 years of undergrad and 2 years of PA school. That's the one at Lemoyne College where I went. That's what they do. This one right here at Deauville is 4.5 years. How's that even possible, man? That's like 2.5 years of undergrad and then 2 years of PA school. Like, that's really, really quick. Can you imagine that? 4.5 years. From high school to physician assistant in 4.5 years. So assuming you start college at like 18, some people even at 17, but let's say 18, you are 22 years old when you graduate and become a PA. That's crazy. 22 years old. Assuming you pass your PANCE, everything gets settled, you get credentialed by 22, 23, you're making 100 grand. Damn. Oh man, what am I doing with my life? I should have done this 10 years ago. Like, this is like not even fair. If any of you want to be PAs and you're in high school and you have a chance to do this, can you please do it just for me? Not even for you, but like for me. I mean, this is incredible. Some of these, 5 years. Most of them are like 5 years. Some of them are 6. Some of them are a little bit over that. But either way, guaranteed PA school, guaranteed like direct entry into the program without having to take a year or 2 off to get your grades up, or a year or 2 off to get your hours and just take like a gap year or whatever. No, like straight through 5 years, straight through 6 years, straight through 4.5 years to become a physician assistant. That, like, I don't know. Those of you watching this who are in high school maybe don't understand the gravity of how big this is, but like, this is incredible. 4.5 years at Deauville College, 5 years, at Lemoyne College, or 5 years at College of St. Mary. 5 years from being a high school senior, graduating high school, to actually graduating with a physician assistant degree. Like, yeah, that's amazing. So basically, the point of this video, if you happen to be in high school still and you want to be a physician assistant, this is what you need to do. Look up this list of 3+2 and 4+2 programs.